My first game was a complete mess, and here's what I learned and how I'm making the second one much better. Number 1, effective planning. In the beginning of my game, I made things without a structure at all. I just made things that I thought would propel the development forward. And I didn't even have like an image in my mind about the result I wanted to have. And obviously I started structuring and planning more as I was developing the game, but the harm was already done. Because when you're creating a game, you aren't planning for like immediate results. 90% of the benefit of planning is for the later stages. So since I didn't plan since the very beginning, my later stages was extremely hard. Because I didn't have a plan or a structure about what I wanted to achieve, I just made things that worked in the moment. I didn't make things that I could easily add to in the future to actually implement all the things that I wanted to have in my end result. So since I didn't have no direction in the start, I just made these cluttered systems. But in my second game, I planned everything out from the start. I know exactly the result I want, but if something changes, which it obviously will, because that's how game dev is, then I'm going to plan the changes carefully and how I'm going to change my development accordingly. And now I also split tasks into different development stages and versions. So for example, I group different tasks into milestones. For example, I have some tasks which go into my milestone, which is called Alpha V2, for example. And then when I do the Alpha V2 tasks done, I can move forward to the Alpha V3 and so on and so on. I also make sure that every system is created to easily integrate the features I have planned for the next stages. Most importantly, I make sure every system is created to easily integrate the feature I have planned for the next stages. So learn from my mistake and implement that. Number 2, creating expandable code. When you have no planning, you don't think about the future. And when you don't have a future, you only create code that works in the current moment. But it's terrible to expand on. And this is a mistake I made terribly in my first game. Like, you can think expandable code and you can reverse it, and that was my game basically. It was so bad that, like, sure, I could finish the PC version, but I couldn't make the phone version. That was my dream. I was going to make a phone version of my game. But due to like this point specifically, expandable code and like planning, I had to scrap the entire phone version of the game because I simply just couldn't implement it. So in every complete project that you make, you should always spend extra time making sure each system is very expandable and changeable for your needs. Number 3, prioritizing important tasks. So in the first game, I basically spent a lot of time on these small tasks that didn't actually move my project forward, instead of spending time on core features that actually accounted for 80% of the game's success. And this basically just comes down to time management. Like, it doesn't affect the result that much, it's just bad time management. Because when you spend too much time doing these small things, I have a full video on this, by the way, but in short, basically you just lose motivation because the project doesn't move forward, like visually, and you just in general spend a lot of time on things that you shouldn't be actually doing. Because you treat these small tasks like one milestone, like, oh, I aligned the UI. Like, that should take you like 20 minutes, it shouldn't take you like 2 hours, an entire session. Like, it just shouldn't. You should instead treat these things like things that you just do in a session very quickly and effectively, where you just get through them, like align the UI, boom, fix this small visual thing, boom. So now I make them much lower priority in my planning, and when I actually do them, I do them quickly and effectively. And you should only really focus on them when you have a playable version and when your core systems are complete. Now, number 4, probably the biggest mistake, which accounted for a lot of the other mistakes that I made in the project, was that I didn't use AI effectively. I used AI way too much. I used AI to complete full scripts for me and systems without actually knowing the code myself. So I'd paste the code from ChatGPT into my game, and I wouldn't even know if the code would work because I couldn't read the code. I didn't know my own like code and game myself. I would just rely on if it worked or not. If it worked, great, I'd paste the code. If it didn't, no, ask it to refine it. And that's the mistake I made. I didn't understand my own code, which made debugging and adding features in the future extremely hard. Because AI can't do everything, at least yet. Now I use AI as a coach instead of a builder. So I ask questions, for example, like give me ideas or outlines for systems, expand and optimize existing systems, or just identify flaws in the code in general. Now I made a lot more mistakes than just this, but these were like the tip of the iceberg, things that I could fit into this video. But if you want to learn more from my mistakes and don't make them yourself, you can click the first link in the description. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.